Hello there and welcome back to Building the Boys. We now have issue 84 of Hachette's Build the Titanic to finish out this pack. We are adding a bit more of the same, but the windows are back. Ladies and gentlemen, the windows are back. So we've got to do some windows. Not loads of windows, you'll be glad to hear. I believe we've got 2 installed. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 windows. 14 windows. That's not so bad. That's not so bad. We'll get through it. We'll get through it together. We have more decking to put on. We have some, what are we looking at? Bulkheads for the port cabins, bulkheads for the starboard cabins. Got another LED strip to go in. And this is wrapping up. We're getting to the end of this one. Next month, we are back with hull. Now, I know everyone's chomping a bit for hull. And there was a little confusion in the description of the hull because, it's the hull with don't be alarmed, there's a window in this hull. There's no window. I think people are freaking out that there's a glass window. There isn't. When they say window, it's a hole, basically is what it is. And there's going to be a removable piece. So you can remove a piece and you can see the engine working, or you can put the piece back on. You don't have to see the engine working. So it's not going to have a constant gap. But that is what that piece is going to look like. So now you know. So it'll be interesting. It will be interesting. There's more hull. Everyone wants hull, don't they? We all like hull. So it's more of that. At the end of this one, we'll be talking about a Titanic story. Now, we haven't any personal ones this month, but we're doing a personal one at the end of this one. And it is about, well, there are lots of love stories of the Titanic. But there's one story which is quite striking, that it did the opposite. It didn't bring people closer together. It pushed them further apart. And we will talk all about that, but it's a remarkable story. We'll talk about it at the end. If you haven't yet, please remember to like and subscribe. Helps our channel massively, and we love having you along for the journey. Let's get this open. Let's get into it. Let's get this one built. Okay, so here is everything that we get inside 84. Let's have a look what we've got going on. Okay, these feel like connectors. I can't see the windows in here. Oh, there's the windows. So we've got windows and connectors. LED strip. APs, I'm guessing. Yep, AP screws. Another Z-wire. And then we have bulkheads. Okay, so we can already see where the windows are going to go in these. So it's not terrible. I mean, I'm no fan of windows either. But surely we're coming to the end of those bloody windows now. We've got to be, you would hope. But let's get them done. Let's get this going. I make no bones about it. I bloody hate windows. I can't stand doing the windows. I don't like it, but I'll show you how I do it. Right, so and take a little touch of glue because you don't need loads. We're just going to do the outside edge of that. Now, after I've done that, I do take off any excess that might have spilt over onto the actual frame. Still want that on there. And now I'm going to take my window like so. And I drop it in. Now you see why I hate bloody windows. I've got massive hands. I mean, like enormous hands, honestly, like frying pans, like shovels. So this isn't the easiest bloody thing for me to do. Not happy with that one. Okay, so that's a window in. You've seen how long it takes me to do one, which is why I don't show you and I've put it on the wrong bloody side, haven't I? Brilliant. There you go. Excellent stuff, Scott. I hate windows, right? I make no bones about it, but I'm going to show you me putting in one window. You'll see why I hate bloody windows. So we're going to put some super glue just along the edge here, like so. I don't need loads, just enough to create a bond, because the window's not going to go anywhere once it's in. There you go. That's it. That's plenty. You don't need tons. Right, now if you push down the window, it will stick to your finger. Now this is why I hate doing this, because I've got enormous hands. But that's it. I've dropped that one in. Normally sticks to my thumb and comes off. There we go. There's one window in. Now you see how long it takes me to do one window, which is why you don't get to see me do 14 windows, because on this video it'll be like 2.5 hours long. I'm joking. But I'm going to get the windows done and we'll take a look at both sections once that's done. Right, so that's all our windows glued in, and did not enjoy that. Right, so what we're going to do next, turn this one round, And similar to what we did in the last issues, we're taking our connect pieces, and because the lug can only go on one way, this is one. There's number two. One way around, it's number two. And number three. And then like so. I'm going to hold these in place with 8p screws. Yeah, I'm not a fan of windows. I mean, the way I see it is there are two types of people in the world. There are people that enjoy doing windows on the Hachette Titanic, and there are people who are not complete sociopaths. All right, so there's that one there. And this one here. And then one more screw, and we're ready to install this to the prom deck. There we go, this is how we're now looking. Now we can take this one over and install. We have to do the exact same thing with this one as well. We're going to do that, then we're going to install both of them to the prom deck. Okay, so working on this section of the prom deck, we are going to take our first partition wall, and we're going to install it like so. Right, so I'm just going to set over there like that. There we go. I'm going to hold this in with 3 AP screws. So all those windows we've just laboured over, you'll barely be able to see. But we know they're there. That's what matters. We put the time and effort into do them. I'm trying to justify it there. Badly, I think. But I'm still trying to justify it. You have to get really up close to see those windows we've just put in. But we know they're there. That's what matters. Oh dear. Right. And then finally one screw there. And that all locks down nicely. Now we do the exact same thing on this side, and we're going to put this one in here like so. Whoop. There we go. 3 more screws, and then we've just got the LED to do. And then we are very sadly done for this pack. But we have, because we received this at the very start of the month, we will have another one in October to do, which is good. And it'll be Halloween, so we're going to get spooky with our Titanic stories on the next one, like we did last year. And we have numerous kind of ghostly tales of the Titanic, because there are a lot of those, rather unsurprisingly. And then one more screw in here. That's that one complete. Let's put the LED in. It's flipping our prom deck over. We are going to be working on this section here. And you can see we have the curvature here for this curvature of the LED. Now last time, this one didn't want to play ball. Oh, much easier this time. There we go. That's it. So we do have another Z wire. Remember? Z, or for my American friends watching, Z, whatever you're calling it. This is the wire you're going to need for this section. So if you're ever looking back at this thinking, bloody hell, what wire do I use? There you go, Z or Z. That is it for this one. Let's have a chat. Resist everything except temptation, so I very crudely assembled this for you. Now, crudely, because it's not exactly as it should be, but now you get an idea of what we're looking at. How beautiful is that? Wow, wow, wow. Wow. And this is only about half. So we've got a lot more to do in the rear. But come on now. We're starting to get an idea of exactly what we're going to look like. But again, this is crude, so don't be thinking, was that it? No, it's just mocked up. It's not supposed to be like this yet. I just want to take a look at what it would all look like together. And it's looking kind of beautiful. So our next section is going to go here. So this is about where the engine's going to go, because we're going to put the engine window in this section here. But wow. Wow, wow, wow. We're certainly getting there, aren't we? Let's have a chat. Great, right? You can see the clip in front of me here. I'm blown away by it. It's looking amazing. So come on with the hull. Let's get that whole part done. Come on, that's gonna be so good when we get to there. But it's crudely put together. So don't be looking at it thinking, well, is that it? No, of course not. There's more to come. And it's gonna look amazing, isn't it? We kind of getting a feel now of what this model's gonna be like, and yeah, I can't wait. There's so much more to do. I mean, we've got all of the rigging, and we've got all of the stern to do. We've got loads to do. We've still got to do the rest of the engine room. We've got to install that. There's a lot to go, people. Let's not be celebrating just yet. There's a long way to go. If you just stick around for the build instructions, thank you for stopping by. Please remember to like and subscribe. It helps our channel massively if you're one of the thousands of viewers that regularly watch but haven't subscribed yet. Be a devil and hit that button. We'd really appreciate it. For those of you sticking around for our Titanic talk, we are talking about this lady here. It's Lucille Carter. And she was quite the socialite, and she was married to William Edward Carter. And the two of them were quite the power couple. So William's father had made all of his money in coal. Lucille's father owned the broker ships. They were the social elite. They were the first of first class. And they were mentioned a lot of the literature at the time. They were kind of very much the it couple. And Lucille was ballsy, man. I mean, she was no shrinking violet. She wasn't some pampered rich girl. She was widely known as the first woman that played polo astride. As opposed to when we used to ride side saddle, Lucille was like, screw that, I want to win. So she rode the horse astride. She was also one of the first women reported to drive a 4-horse trap and cart through Cincinnati. So again, these were seen as things that women couldn't possibly do. They're so frail and weak, whereas Lucille was like, I'm tough. And off she went. So the perception was they were very much the young lovers. They married, and they had 2 children, and their children were named after them. So the firstborn was a daughter, Lucille Carter Polk, and the second was William Edward Carter III. Now, the story goes that when Titanic hit the iceberg and she started to sink, that William ran to his first class cabin, woke Lucille, told her to dress the children, we've got to go now, and he got them to lifeboat 4, made sure she was on, and the last he was seen was wandering off with James Edward Astor and Jack Thayer, not knowing if they were going to be reunited. So Lucille got onto lifeboat 4 with her children, and she was known as one of the heroines of the Titanic. She helped a lot of people onto the lifeboats. She also took up an oar, and she was one of the women that rowed. She said rowing actually kept her warm. So she was all in, and she was known as one of the heroines of the Titanic. Her husband was in Collapsible Sea, I want to say, along with Ishmael. So he did get off. The other 3 men that he was with didn't. And they were reunited on the Carpathia. That's the story the press were told. And he kind of dined out on it, that he was the hero guy that saved his family and, struggled to get them to Lifeboat Sea. And however, 2 years after this, so about 18 months after this, in 1914, Lucille filed for divorce, which really was not the done thing at the time. 1914, divorce was, I was a child of divorce in the 80s, and it was seen as kind of weird at the time. 1914 would have been a big no. But she divorced him, stating cruel and barbarous behaviour. Cruel and barbarous behaviour, that's what she divorced him for. She wasn't going to do her dirty laundry in public. Unlike now, where we hear every single kind of dirty detail, she wasn't going to do that. She wasn't going to elaborate on it. So it's cruel and barbarous behaviour. But the one thing that she did do, as almost a farewell gift to him, was she told the truth of what actually happened the night Titanic hit the iceberg, and what her husband, William Carter, did. And what he did was he knocked on the cabin door, let himself in, and he said to Lucille, dress the children, the ship's sinking, you need to get off, and left. He didn't see them to a lifeboat, he just left. he left her alone and the children to save themselves. Lucille managed to get to Lifeboat 4. She helped other women as well. She was probably enraged at what her husband just did, but she helped a lot of other people. She then states the next time she saw him was 8 a.m. the following morning on the Carpathia, when she saw him casually leaning on a railing, smoking a cigarette. And she looked at him and said, I didn't know if you made it. And he said, yes, I did. And these are his exact words. I've had a jolly nice breakfast and I'm surprised to see you. I didn't think you'd make it. What a guy, right? What an absolute scumbag. What an absolute scumbag. If that wasn't bad enough, that he saved his own skin, that he left his kids, that he left his wife, for that comment to then be, not, how are the children? Are the children okay? I've had a jolly good breakfast. I'm surprised to see you. I didn't think you'd make it. What a piece of shit. I'm sorry, but he is. I don't really swear on the channel, but it's hard not to regarding this guy. What an absolute scumbag. So she was granted a divorce from him. So it's one of those strange tales where a lot of the Titanic tales are about love. And we did see the best of people. Well, sometimes we saw the worst of people as well aboard the Titanic, and he's a prime example. He cared that little of his family and of his wife that he abandoned them to save himself. But if that wasn't bad enough, then went on to act as if he was this big hero of the Titanic for saving his family, when he didn't. Absolute scumbag. He left them for dead. His only contribution was to wake them and tell them that he was leaving. That's it. Lucille went on to remarry and she lived a very happy life. But yeah, poor woman. It makes you wonder what else went on in that relationship. Because I would imagine that was, and if you will forgive the pun, it's not intentional, the tip of the iceberg. Because if that's all, I don't want to talk about all the scummy things, but there's this one. Can you imagine the other scummy things that guy did? Shocking. Absolutely shocking. But she got free from him, which sadly for the time a lot of women didn't. They were sort of trapped in these fairly insidious relationships with these horrible men. Because it was the ultimate social faux pas. To divorce at that time, you just didn't do it. But she did. She had the strength to do it because she was ballsy. And I think that's an eye-opener. This man does not give a damn about me or my children, so I've got to go. But God bless her, she did. And that is our Titanic tale for this issue, and that is the last one for this month's delivery. We will be back very soon with more from the channel. So because it's now October, we will be Halloween in the room. We will be having our Spooky Tales and Building the Boys coming up throughout Halloween as well, along with a ton of other builds. So I have got 2 exclusives coming up, which you won't see anywhere else, but you'll see them here. I have got the Infinity Gauntlet coming up. I've got Disney Doll's House. I've got Tumblr. I've got a bit of everything for everyone. So tune in, you will see the lot. Thanks for stopping by. If you haven't yet, please remember to like and subscribe. You can contact us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com. We will get back to you if you message us in a world where you can be anything at all. Don't be like that guy. Just be nice, man. And I will see you very soon for more from Building the Boys. I'll see you then.